The Asset Alliance Group Scottish Rally Championship makes the switch from gravel to tarmac for round 2 of the 2024 season, the Beatson's Jim Clark Reivers Rally. The entry list reads like a who's who of the SRC and includes the return of reigning champion David Henderson, all lining up behind last year's Reivers winners Ewan Thorburn and Paul Beatson.
Obviously the weather's going to play its part today, so we have to take it steady, see how we get on, and make a plan after probably the first service.
You had a good day yesterday on the National.
Yeah, it was good. We managed to get third, so yeah. Obviously conditions were a lot drier than what they are today, so it's starting afresh again this morning, totally different conditions, so yeah, we'll just see how we get on.
Yeah, okay, I think there'll be a lot of standing water out there, but we'll see how it goes. It's nice to be back in the Scottish Championship. So Chris Williams back in the car, we did some rallying a few years ago, so it's nice to see him back.
Yeah, that's it. It's a bit of a change in the weather, but you know, at least it makes it an easy tyre choice. So yeah, we're full wets all around, and we'll see how the day goes.
Yeah, how are you feeling about the switch to the Mark II?
It's going to be tricky today, make no mistake. So you know, mud, standing water, it's going to be tricky for everyone, but we just need to try and keep moving forward and keep it in the road.
Yeah, we enjoyed all the tarmac rounds last year and the year before, so yeah, fingers crossed we can do something, but this is totally different now being wet, so we're back to square one and like everybody else.
I think, to be honest, today's going to be about survival of the fittest. I don't know it's necessarily going to reward the fastest, so we just have to get around the first loop and see what it's like.
Also making headlines, there was a new car for Jock Armstrong and Owen Patterson, debuting their Impreza-based Fabia, and keen to see how it fares against the best in the SRC.
I don't know yet, you know, it's like one of these things, but the nice thing is everybody else is in a different situation as well this morning, I think, with the wet weather, so that'll kind of play into our hands hopefully. So no, it'll be right enough. It's had a skid about, and the car's very quick, a lot quicker than what my old car was, so that's good.
3 stages would make up the opening loop, the changeable weather conditions making things a real challenge. And fastest on the opener were David Henderson and Chris Williams, despite the mother of all moments. Second quickest in both 2 and 3, despite feeling they were on the wrong tyres, the Fiesta headed into service with a 5.7 second lead.
Plus over gravel, shiny at the top. 80. Left 4 plus, only 40 gravel caution, square right slippy. Square right slippy. And left 6 slippy. And the left 100, turn square right round Bale, gravel. And right 100.
Dude, here we go, here's the polo.
Running first on the road, Thorburn and Beatson were 5th fastest on the wet opener, but were speeding up as the loop dried out. 12 seconds down on the lead after 1, 2 fastest times saw them jump up to 2nd by midday service. Already almost 12 seconds back, Rory Young and Alan Cathers had kept things consistent in the morning. 4th fastest on 1 and 2 and 3rd in 3 saw the polo sitting 3rd after the first loop.
Yep. Now, there's a man that comes out every now and again and just times the stage.
Hugh Brunton and Drew Sturrock had actually been 3rd fastest on the first stage, but luck then started to work against them. Intermittent power steering issues on 2 and 3 saw them slip back to 4th by service, just 1.7 seconds ahead of Mark McCulloch and Michael Hendry. The Proton crew had been held up for about 2 miles of SS1 by another car, but were 3rd quickest in stage 2. There was another delay in 3 with a stall, but they were well in the mix at the top.
Is that Retson?
Finlay
Retson.
24 seconds back, Finlay Retson was readapting to Fiesta power, with Keir Beaton alongside. Finlay was 7th quickest in both the opening stages, but the big loss came in 3 when they briefly visited a field, thankfully without major damage. Dale Robertson and Doug Redpath were another 8 seconds back, the Fiesta crew very cautious on the first 2 stages, but flew to 4th fastest in stage 3 as things dried out. They were just 4.6 seconds up on Armstrong and Patterson. Jock slightly modifying the styling of the new car on a bale early on, but they were learning about it with every mile. Jock already planning to make some suspension tweaks for the afternoon. It was also tight for 9th. John Wink and Neil Shanks held the place after 3 stages, the Hyundai man experiencing wet tarmac for the first time and gradually finding the pace. They had just 2.6 seconds over Scott Beatty and Peredur Davis, the Fiesta pilot on his first tarmac rally, and treating these difficult stages with the respect they deserved. Topping the two-wheel drive standings after stage 3, round 1 winners David Bogie and John Rowan were out in their highly modified Mark II Escort, getting some testing miles in before they can test Donegal. The conditions couldn't suit an Escort any less, and they were relieved to survive the first loop trouble-free. The mighty Mark II was under pressure though. John Rintoul and Ross Hind were debuting their new Citroen C3 in the SRC and were only 0.3 of a second behind the 6-times champion. A great way to pay back the service crew after they put in a power of work both sorting the car and converting it to right-hand drive before the event. Things hadn't gone well for another Citroen crew. Peter Stewart and Kenny McGilvery retiring their own C3 in SS2.
Two-spec car. Looks amazing. Love the paint job.
Nice purple job, yeah.
Graphics job.
Also not seeing the finish, Challenger sponsor Simon Hay and Callum Jaffrey's first experience of tarmac ended with a broken transfer case, also in SS2. Four stages made up the second half of the day, including 2 runs of Westrother. With heavy rain showers still crossing the landscape, things weren't going to get any easier.
Oh no!
Well saved.
He's out in the ditch. 63.
That's what the rain does.
Craig McIntosh.
Before we count down the final top 12, let's take a look at some of the other category winners.
Sorry.
Bouncing back after a tough Speyside, Megan O'Kane would grab top honours in the Moats Offshore Juniors with her dad John alongside as usual. The hard work between events paying off as the car was much better to drive than it had been on round 1. Megan powering her way to 65th overall.
Yeah, chuffed. I absolutely loved the car again. That last stage was good, wasn't it? But yeah, started to get to grips with it on that last stage, so yeah,
Brilliant, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Excellent, yeah, well done.
Smiling anyway rather than coming out at the Speyside unhappy every stage.
She did really well today, absolutely. No, couple of wee moments, and the only dent she put in the car was a bale. We couldn't get through it, we had to nudge it out of the way. So that was the only problem we had all day.
Had to pick one side and I picked his to hit it with.
Megan's big ladies rival Aileen Forrest made it 2 lady driver wins out of 2. With husband John having the time of his life behind the wheel of an MG3, Aileen had drafted in super sub navigator Paul Gribben to guide her round. The combo worked well, Paul full of praise for his pilot as she produced one of her best drives so far in the SRC.
I've had a blast today, I really have enjoyed it. I mean, it's been tricky, but really, really enjoyed it. And my new co-driver has just been excellent, so he's been a big help.
Paul, how was it for you?
Good, yeah. It's been a good day, hasn't it?
Aye,
Good,
really
good pace,
enjoyed
and there's a lot more to come, without a doubt.
He says, yeah.
And unfortunately,
Have to be my brave pants.
yeah, Aileen underestimates her own abilities, so she could push on a wee bit more yet.
Another making it 2 out of 2, Gordon Murray and Peter Carstairs stuck the big Escort into 35th overall and top of the Hado Energy Super Seniors. The car was looking a little second-hand by the end of the day, Gordon's door sporting the outline of a hay bale at the finish after an argument with a chicane.
No, it's been a good day. It was. It started off a little bit wet and slippy, then the sun came out, so I think two stages where it was quite dry, and that was really enjoyable. Then the rain came back on, and so to be a bit of heckle pins driving it sometimes. With a few moments, but nothing too bad.
Well, nothing that you're owning up to. Anything that you'd like to own up to?
No, it was a bit of fright in the last stage, but no, he did well. Held it, so no, it was good. Enjoyable day.
Making their first SRC start, Rob Cotton and Ethan Kidd immediately made a splash, taking the Groundwater Lift Trucks Subaru Cup win. They took a little time to get used to their recently rebuilt car, fighting the brakes on the opening loop. They really sped up in the afternoon and grabbed an excellent 25th overall by the end of the day.
Well, it's been a day of two halves really. The first half, especially the first two stages, were really tricky. We had a couple of mistakes and nudged a bale, and spirits were sort of down a little bit. And then after service, just a different rally. We were just really got in a rhythm, and everything was working well, and the pace was good, and yeah, it was really good.
More of what Rob said basically. We sort of got into a flow, I think, on the Super Stage 3, and then we just continued it into the second half. And Rob's driving was just fantastic all the way through the afternoon, and yeah, kept it on the straight and narrow, which is the important bit, and yeah, come away with a good result. Very happy.
The late event jinx struck Beatty and Davies once again. A puncture on the final stage, dropping them from 9th to 21st at the finish. The Fiesta crew still fared better than Brunton and Sturrock. The Fabia crew's rally ending in a rather bruising fashion.
Top, tight 4 right. 40. Woo! Oh, what happened there? Just locked up.
Amazingly, Young and Cather's day was also finished early at the exact same point as Brunton and Sturrock. Climbing up into the top 12 by the end of the day, it was a successful weekend for Gordon Morrison and Ian Parker. Their solid Reivers result backing up a strong run on the national event on the previous 2 days. Eleventh SRC at the finish, it was a good Citroen debut for John Rintoul and Ross Hind, despite a puncture on stage 5 keeping them on their toes. The C3 ending the day just 1.6 seconds behind Greg McKnight and Harry Marchbank. The Speyside two-wheel drive winners running very strongly in the slippy conditions and able to beat Bogie and Rowan on a couple of stages.
Guys, oh, Greg McKnight. You see the forend of that? Wonderful stuff, Greg.
The Yellow Mark II ended the day just 1 second behind Alban Gary's Challengers winners Johnny Mackay and Rachel Matheson. It wasn't smooth for the Evo crew, dealing with brake issues and an unfortunate delay stuck behind another competitor. 9th in the SRC was finally the strong result they've been chasing for a while.
It's not been our greatest day, but it's ended up being a great day. There's been a lot of ups and downs, brakes, catching cars, issues, but yeah, no, it's ended up a really, really good result, so I know I'm really chuffed for that.
Yeah, we had a bit of not the best morning. We weren't quite gelling, I would say, so our second half was much better, John drove really well today, so yeah, he did very well.
Top G&M Mechanical Services two-wheel drive and 8th SRC crew home made it a successful pre-Donegal test for David Bogie and John Rowan. They survived a tough afternoon out on slicks in the heaviest of the rain. Next stop, Ireland.
Yeah, good. It's been a good day. You know, I've learned a lot about the car today and in difficult conditions. So, no, it's been really enjoyable. But I must say, it's a credit to all the organisers and everybody that stood out in that weather today, because hellish weather to make it enjoyable for us. It's a big credit to them.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare weather-wise, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. You know, in a long weekend. You know, the Sunday's day 3 of the rally weekend. So, no, fair play to everybody that's been involved, and hats off to them.
Good. John, how's it been from your side?
Well, we've another great event. It was great to get the finish, more to the point. So, David drove really well, and the car worked great as well, which is why we're here, and we really enjoyed it, even with the tricky conditions and a few big slides and a few not so fun slides, I would say.
7th SRC crew home, Armstrong and Patterson survived a big backward slide up stage 5, not far from the spot that had claimed Brunton and Young. Jock and Owen learning a lot about their new car during the day and excited about its potential. Now they're keen to try it out on gravel in a couple of months' time. Sixth at the finish wrapped up a good day of learning for John Wink and Neil Shanks, the I-20 getting quicker and quicker as the day wore on. They did back off when they were one of the first crews to come across Brunton and Young's demise, but were happy at the finish.
That's John Wink. Now he's going really quick. Purely.
Rounding out the top 5, it was a good day out for Robertson and Redpath on their home event. Doug announcing over the tannoy at the finish that this was his last event and he'd be enjoying retirement from rallying from now on. The battle for third was to be the closest of the entire rally. After Young and Brunton disappeared, it was down to a shootout between McCulloch and Hendry and Retson and Beatson.
And left on test, flat 5 right, 60 to care 4 right, into tight 4 left over crest, 60 to 5 left, jump into 6 right, then caution 5 left in, only 80 down to narrow 2 right. 80 to short 3 left, opens to 5 tidy.
The Fiesta crew were charging, but the Proton crew were doing just enough to stay ahead, heading into the final stage, still in third, 3.8 seconds up on the Fiesta. The final run of Westrother would decide it, and it was McCulloch and Hendry who would have the biggest moment, surviving a huge slide in 6th gear. Retson and Beaton were faster, but not by enough, failing to catch the Proton by just 0.2 of a second. Good points for the Fiesta crew with 4th nevertheless, and another Reivers podium for Mark and Michael.
It's been different. It's quite tricky, but yeah, to come away with third overall. Finlay was putting in some fight at the end there. He was reeling us in, and to be fair, I don't think we just quite had the pace for him, but overall we've got him by 0.2 or something ridiculous. So to do that today, I'm over the moon.
Yeah, good, because it's been a struggle today with the weather.
Yeah, it's been very changeable. We actually seem to go better when it's wet for some strange reason, but when it dried out, we were losing time to other boys. But it definitely got tricky there in the middle loop. So to keep it on the road, I think was good, and I think a lot of people that have kept it on the road have done well today. So.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, Michael, has it been a good day for you?
Yeah, really enjoyable. Mark's drove great. Say the conditions mixed made it really tricky, and just happy to get down. A lot of people haven't, so I could be better really.
What's next?
Argyll now. I think we'll call this the warm-up for Argyll, and maybe might strangely pray for rain.
But it wasn't the only final stage shootout in town. Thorburn and Beaton closed to within 3.6 seconds of Henderson and Williams after stage 5, but David and Chris counter-attacked in 6, pulling 8.9 clear, with just one run of Westrother remaining.
2 left 3, minus slippy, 60. Right on flat crest and left 130. Middle of a long crest, okay, only 60. Gravel start, square left slippy.
Both crews went for it over the final stage, and it was the Polo crew who came out on top, fastest by 12.9 seconds, to take the win by just 4 after an incredible run. Take nothing away from the Fiesta team, the missing rear wing at the finish a testament to how hard they were pushing.
seconds. 2 seconds slower than
Ewan was flying all day, really. His pace was really good. I think, I was ahead of him just because of a few mistakes he made earlier on more than anything else, and I was clinging on there. And I made some really, quite large mistakes on the second last stage, and yet still somehow had a time over him. So I think obviously I was trying to consolidate and make sure I didn't lose time on the last one, but the time he did on the last stage, I don't think I would have matched. So he served something up that was always going to put me in second place, and fair play to him.
Yeah, because that's not your usual way you work, is it? You usually make up the time on the last stage.
Yeah, I've dished it out enough on the last stage. I can be the victim this time. It's okay.
Good, as long as you don't feel too bad about it.
No, it's fine.
Chris, how was it from your side of the car? Different driver this time.
Yeah, phenomenal day, absolutely. The pace at the front is sharp, and we've had a few moments but survived them. But it's been a phenomenal day. Really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
What's next?
No plans at the minute. No plans, but I think you'll probably see me again before the end of the year somehow.
Yeah, I think that's 3 in the trot, so it's good. We left it a bit late today, but thankfully it paid off. The weather's played its part with a few issues with the driver, but finally came together in the last stage. So
you must have been really flying.
Yeah, it was good. Paul done a great job. Tyres worked well. Car was awesome. So when it all hooks up like that, it's really, really good. It just shows what can be done when you do hook it up. So it's great.
Good. Paul, how was it from your side?
Yeah, it was good. That last stage, I think I'll remember that for a long time. It was brilliant. We were just driving on the door handles, and there's no better feeling than that when you're rallying. That's what we're all in it for. So it was good.
So Thorburn and Beatson take another Reivers win, and it moves them into the championship lead after 2 rounds. Up next, the SRC stays on the black stuff for one of the toughest events of the season. The Dunoon presents Argyle Rally.
And it's still going. It's now coming out from his Y fronts. Oh, good grief.